Where do you think the offensive issues are coming from right now? Obviously, that's a great defense.
Issues coming from?
Yeah.
We have a guy that averaged 37 a game. What did he average, 35 this year? 33 and a half?
Yeah.
What are you asking?
Okay, well, I'm asking, you guys...
There's the issues right there. We're playing against the #1 defensive team in the NBA.
The Los Angeles Lakers are supposed to be one of the NBA's cleanest success stories right now. You've got LeBron James, one of the greatest players the league has ever seen, a head coach willing to speak honestly instead of hiding behind cliches, and a roster that, at least on paper, should absolutely be competitive enough to stay in the championship conversation. But once you look past the polished TV image, the reality surrounding the organization feels a lot more complicated. Reports, reactions, and the overall energy coming from inside the building suggest there's tension beneath the surface. And that's where things start getting interesting. Because in today's NBA, talent alone doesn't guarantee stability. Expectations around the Lakers are massive every single season, especially with LeBron still leading the franchise late in his career. Every loss gets magnified, every comment becomes a headline, and every small sign of frustration instantly turns into speculation about chemistry, leadership, or the direction of the team. That's why the outside image and the internal reality can start looking completely different. On television, the Lakers still appear like one of basketball's marquee franchises built around star power and championship expectations. But behind the scenes, the pressure of trying to win immediately while balancing personalities, egos, rotations, and media attention can create a much messier environment than fans realize.
As far as the ratings and everything, and when you play against great defenses, you have to have guys that can attract multiple defenders on the floor at all time. Even I felt like we had great shots. We got some great shots tonight. We missed them. When you play against the world champions, having a guy that averages 34, 6 and 8 and 8 and 9, whatever the hell, that's special.
That's the part that really hits people hard. Because when you're talking about LeBron James, you're not talking about some average role player struggling to fit into a system. You're talking about one of the most dominant and influential players the NBA has ever seen. So the moment the Los Angeles Lakers start looking smoother, faster, or more connected without him on the floor, the conversation instantly becomes impossible to ignore. At that point, it's no longer just about star power. It becomes a discussion about fit, spacing, ball movement, rhythm, and whether the roster functions more naturally inside a balanced system instead of revolving around one superstar controlling every possession. According to the reports and reactions surrounding the team, the Lakers had started finding real momentum before LeBron returned from his sciatica issue. Luka Doncic was orchestrating the offense, Austin Reeves was playing confidently and scoring efficiently, and Rui Hachimura was contributing within the flow instead of standing around waiting for isolation basketball. The offense reportedly looked cleaner. The ball moved with purpose. Players seemed comfortable making reads instead of pausing to watch one player create everything. And that matters, because it paints the picture of a team discovering an identity without constantly defaulting to superstar dominance. The games against the New Orleans Pelicans became part of that narrative. The Lakers played with pace, spacing, and trust. Luka controlled tempo, Reeves attacked opportunities naturally, and the offense looked connected instead of predictable. That style of basketball is dangerous when it's working, but it can also become fragile the moment the system shifts back toward one primary ball handler dominating touches. And that's where the controversy really exploded. Reports suggested the Lakers' defensive rating worsened after LeBron returned. The offense became less fluid. Turnovers increased. Lineups that previously looked organized suddenly appeared confused and inconsistent. The eye test started matching the numbers, and people began questioning whether the issue was effort or style. Because there's a major difference between a team operating inside a shared system and a team constantly adjusting itself around one player's comfort zone. If the supporting cast looks freer and more effective before a superstar returns, fans are going to notice that immediately. And once they notice it, the conversation spreads fast. That's also why comments from J.J. Redick carried so much weight. When he criticized turnovers, poor reads, broken sets, and players failing to value possessions, it didn't sound like generic coach speak. It sounded like frustration with the structure itself. Saying a team needs improvement is normal. Publicly questioning decision-making and execution at that level feels more serious. It hints at deeper issues behind the scenes. Then came the speculation about tension after the Christmas Day loss. Reports suggested Redick and LeBron had a heated disagreement behind closed doors. Whether every detail is accurate or not, the tone surrounding the situation felt different from a routine coach-player disagreement. It felt more personal, more structural, like a battle over control, accountability, and direction. The reaction from DeAndre Ayton only fueled that perception. When Redick said practices and meetings were going to become uncomfortable, Ayton reportedly laughed it off. And moments like that can say a lot without anyone directly explaining anything. If a coach publicly calls out disorder while players respond casually, it creates the feeling that nobody inside the room fully wants to confront the real issue openly. And once LeBron enters the equation, everything becomes more complicated. Reports suggested that not everyone in the organization feels comfortable challenging him on the court. If that's true, it changes the entire balance of accountability. Because when a player reaches LeBron's level of status and influence, teammates and even coaches can start navigating around him carefully instead of coaching him directly.
He's hearing that noise, bro. You can't tell me he's not hearing that noise. He's not like,
oh, you see, he has kids.
Yeah,
they showing him.
Came out like, why does everyone paint me out to be the villain now? I'm like, bro, stop.
Yeah.
Like how LeBron handles it though. He never says nothing. He handles it like the king.
He keeps it professional. Keeps it on the court.
He go crazy.
But again, when you're comparing the two, like, why the fuck would Bron answer to Dylan Brooks?
Yeah,
exactly. Who are you?
Who are you? Like, what have you done? Like,
right.
why am I even having this with you?
That's the part that really makes this situation uncomfortable. Because when the conversation shifts toward whether the Los Angeles Lakers look more connected without LeBron James on the floor, you're no longer talking about some average veteran struggling to fit in. You're talking about one of the most powerful and influential players the sport has ever seen. So when the team suddenly appears faster, more organized, or more balanced during his absence, the discussion instantly becomes unavoidable. It stops being about star power and starts becoming about rhythm, spacing, ball movement, timing, and whether the roster naturally functions better inside a shared offensive system. According to the reports surrounding the team, the Lakers were playing some of their cleanest basketball before LeBron returned from his sciatica issue. Luka Doncic was controlling the pace of the offense, Austin Reeves was attacking confidently, and Rui Hachimura was contributing efficiently on both ends without disrupting the flow. The offense reportedly had structure. The ball moved naturally. Players looked comfortable making quick decisions instead of standing around waiting for every possession to become a superstar isolation. And that matters, because it paints the picture of a team discovering chemistry without constantly orbiting around one dominant ball handler. The matchups against the New Orleans Pelicans became part of the evidence fans pointed to. Luka ran the offense smoothly, Reeves scored in rhythm, Rui played within the system, and the Lakers looked dangerous because everybody seemed connected to the same identity. That kind of basketball can be incredibly effective, but it can also become fragile once the offense shifts back toward one player controlling everything again. And that's where the controversy exploded. According to the reporting, the Lakers' defensive rating worsened after LeBron returned. The offense became less fluid.
Is if you invest time in said thing, you get better at that thing. Mm-hmm. And that thing then does more for you than you're necessary. Like, I've invested so much time in the basketball. Basketball now does more for me than I do for the game of basketball. Mm-hmm. So if you can invest your time in said thing, you can possibly be great at something. So you probably shouldn't invest your time in wondering about our relationship. But yeah, how I separate the two though is like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to win these basketball games and I'm trying to win these championships.
And that's where the situation becomes really dangerous for the Los Angeles Lakers. Because no matter which direction a franchise chooses in a power struggle like this, there's always a cost. If the organization backs the coach, the superstar can feel undermined or disrespected. If the organization backs the superstar, the coach risks losing authority in the locker room. And if the front office tries to stay neutral, players usually sense the uncertainty immediately. Once that tension hangs over a locker room, trust can disappear faster than any losing streak. That's why the numbers and the timing matter so much in this conversation. According to the reports, the Lakers' most connected basketball came before LeBron James returned, not after. And honestly, that's a brutal thing to say about someone of LeBron's caliber. But it's also exactly why the debate exploded online. Fans aren't reacting only to drama anymore. They're reacting to the idea that the team may have genuinely looked more functional when the offense wasn't revolving around one dominant superstar every possession. And once Luka Doncic became the primary organizer of the offense, the contrast reportedly became even more noticeable. Because Luka doesn't just score, he structures everything around him. He controls pace, creates spacing, organizes possessions, and gives role players room to operate naturally. That's why people inside and outside the league view him as the future centerpiece of the franchise. And that's not just media hype anymore. It feels like the direction the Lakers are actually moving toward. Luka represents the long-term timeline. He's the younger star. He's the player shaping the team's identity moving forward. The way the offense flows, the way the ball moves, the way teammates get involved, it all changes when he's running the system. According to the reports surrounding the team, players like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura look more comfortable inside that style. The offense moved quicker, decisions happened faster, and role players seemed more connected to the action instead of waiting for isolation opportunities to develop. And that's the hardest part of this entire conversation for fans to accept. Nobody is denying LeBron's greatness. Nobody is pretending he suddenly stopped being one of the greatest basketball players ever. That isn't the argument. The real question is whether his style of controlling the game still helps this current Lakers roster more than it limits it. And once people start seriously asking that question, the conversation shifts from legacy talk to franchise direction. Because at that point, it's no longer about who LeBron was. It becomes about what version of basketball gives the Lakers the best chance to move forward now.